Okay, there's no doubt about it, this does look like a little mini Game Boy, and it looks and sounds absolutely fantastic, as if you are playing a Game Boy back from 1989. Obviously it's a lot smaller, obviously it plays a lot more than just Game Boy games, but still, that is very impressive as a mini Game Boy. There are hundreds of games here to choose from as well. But yeah, it does play other games other than Game Boy. Let's find out. Okay guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. Today we're going to be looking at the Miyoo Mini version 2, and this is how it actually comes packaged. It doesn't come in a box or anything, it comes in this really cool little carry case, which is absolutely fantastic. And it's cool that you actually get this free with the actual device. So let's actually unzip it and have a look at it. In the actual case here you get a charge cable, which is a USB-C charge cable. There is also sort of USB stick to sort of transfer your files from your PC to the unit. You've got a little instruction manual. It's got one side Chinese and the other side is English. It's got a little bit of details on the actual unit itself. Not really an awful lot to actually talk about here, although interestingly it talks about a firmware upgrade. I guess you're going to have to do that over the internet, but I don't believe this thing actually has Wi-Fi, but anyway, we'll look at that at some point. That's that. So here's the actual unit itself. Let's put this out of the way. Comes in a nice little package here. And here it is, the Miyoo Mini version 2. Now I didn't have the version 1, apparently the version 2 has a few upgrades, and most notably the screen is OCA laminated, which definitely gives it a huge improvement from what I've seen of some videos. You can see it does look like a mini Game Boy. It's got that sort of colour and style, a little bit like a Game Boy used to be, but obviously the size wise it's a lot smaller than a Game Boy used to be, and obviously it's not quite as thick either. Okay, it's fairly simple. You've got your four sort of face buttons here, A, B, X and Y, start, select, and this is a sort of a function button, so to speak. It sort of helps you exit games and access Retroarch, so to speak. And you've got a sort of D-pad, and it's pretty nice. All the buttons seem pretty decent. On the bottom half here you've got your headphone socket, you've got your USB-C charging slot, and this is where the memory card is kept. There also is a memory card included with lots of games, so if you want a device that's pick up go with very little fuss, this is the one to have. Okay, on the side here you've got your slider for volume up and down. This is your on off switch up the top. There's some LED lights here that sort of highlights, I think, the battery life on it. I'm not entirely sure. Nothing on that side. On the back end we've got your L2, R2, L1, R1 buttons. I'm not really sure what the purpose is, because the games that it's capable of playing is up to PlayStation, so I'm not really sure you'll actually be playing or using these buttons too much, which is probably just as well, because they are a little bit awkward to actually use. And interestingly, you can actually open up the back end here, which includes the battery. I'm not really sure why you would want to see in here where you can change this out, but yeah, that's the battery. Some connections down there for it. I'm not sure what the purpose of this is. As you can see here, the size of the battery is 2000 milliamp, which actually says in the instructions on 1900, but yeah, it's obviously a little bit better than it says. So hopefully you'll get a few hours gameplay out of this. Better take this off. We can get the screen. There's no screen protector included, unfortunately. I'm not sure if you can actually buy them. I'm sure you'll probably find something on Amazon to sort of help that. But the screen is really, really nice on this. It does stick out slightly, but yeah, it is very nice. Let's compare this to a few other units so you can get a size comparison. Okay, size comparison. This is an RG552. This is the Miyoo Mini. You can see it's completely dwarfed. It probably fits in the size of the screen. It's pretty tiny in comparison. So this is a Switch. You can see it's pretty much the same size. It fits right in the middle of the screen and it's pretty tiny in comparison. So I have a look at devices that are a little bit closer in size. You can see this is an RG351P. You can see it's slightly closer in size, but you can see it's definitely a lot smaller. The RG351P is pretty small as well, but you can see the screen size is probably pretty comparable, which is interesting. Here's one of my sort of recent purchases. This is the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. And you can see it's still dwarfing even that. The screen size is quite similar to actually the Retroid Pocket, interestingly enough. But yeah, so the closest competitor for me to this is definitely the Pocket Go. This is a very similar device. It is a lot more plasticky. Price for that was £35, whereas the Miyoo Mini retails around about £65 is what I got it for. So the Pocket Go is probably a slightly better value for money perhaps, but it's a lot cheaper. The build quality isn't quite the same. It does feel cheaper. This does feel better quality for the money, and I think the performance is probably better on the Miyoo Mini than the Pocket Go, as we'll see later in the video. And the screen is definitely better than the Pocket Go, no doubt about that. This is kind of a fairly standard. It's not bad for the price though, the Pocket Go. But yeah, let's have a look at the Miyoo Mini running. Okay, to start the device, you really just hold down the on-off button. See the LED lights there. And here we go. Try and sort of zoom in for you. Okay, interestingly, it's actually playing, I think that's PSP or PS Vita music that's probably playing in the background, which is kind of weird. So already you got some interesting license problems there. But so that's it. I'll turn it down slightly so you can actually hear me. So this is actually the stock firmware that's included. There's already lots of games here. You've got Retroarch option, and sort of go into the games, you can see what you've got. You've got arcade, you've got Famicom or NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, sort of MAME arcade, Mega Drive, Master System, Neo Geo, Neo Geo Pocket, PC Engine, PlayStation, Super Nintendo, and WonderSwan Color. And there's already thousands of games pretty much including this device. So if you like your devices pick up and go with very little effort required to set up, this is going to be for you. And it's obviously so small, it can fit in your pocket. You can take this travelling or wherever you go, take it out at work for lunch purposes. This is perfect for that kind of thing. And yeah, let's have a look at some of the actual games working. I will look at the other operating systems in our later video. I think Onion OS is apparently the one to have, but I'll look at that in a later video. I don't think it makes a massive difference to the sort of gameplay, but we'll find out in a later video. So I guess if you can actually add your own ROMs to the memory card down the bottom here, and there's obviously an option here to refresh the ROMs, and it'll bring this into hopefully the folders that you're actually seeing here. So obviously you can go into Retroarch as well, and it pretty much just has a better slightly look to it, and you might have some more options in the back end to make some changes, which is kind of cool, I guess. There's some apps which you can access a few different games as well. File manager, not really sure. You can obviously drag and drop and do things that you would like to do. Obviously press this button to go out. A little bit in Chinese, so it doesn't really help. But this main button here at the top here, this function button, is what you're going to use to sort of exit programs here and there. Don't really think there's much in open bore. Yeah, in here there's Night Slashers, I thought it's known as Night Stalkers or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty sort of gory sort of beat 'em up, which we might have a look at later. Okay, sort of last to look at here, there is an option to look at the settings. There's not really a lot to talk about. You can change the brightness colour of the screen. You can actually change the colour of this sort of red here. You can change it to any colour you like by just sort of adjusting some of this. I'm not sure if you want to do that, it's really up to you. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So on this, the B goes back in A is to actually confirm. Language, keys mapping, background volume, hibernate, never, factory reset, blah blah blah. So yeah, there's not really an awful lot to see in the options there. But let's quickly jump into games. Obviously create favourites if you want to. And let's have a look at some arcade games to start. You can see there are tons of games already sort of loaded here. Let's have a look at some. Now that screen is absolutely fantastic. Not sure if it's coming across really well on the screen here, but yeah, it looks really, really good. So for this, you press the select button to insert a coin, and then press start button. And you can see the sound is fantastic too. Let's turn it down slightly while we're playing. So I'm going to turn it down slightly, guys. So to exit this, you really just press the function button. You can actually use some save states as well. There's 10 for each game. Native menu really has some kind of a Retroarch style options that you can sort of mess about with. If you've got issues, you can add frame skip here if you've got issues with performance. Most of the games really should be working fine. I think it's capable of playing anything up to PlayStation 1. As far as I can tell, so you can exit that. Back to the game, let's have another play at some other games. You see the screen is absolutely fantastic, really impressed with that. I think this is obviously the one thing that's better over the version 1 is the screen. There are a few other small differences, and but it's mainly the screen that's the big difference here. You can see it's playing these arcade games pretty well. Let's maybe try something that might not play so well. Oh, a small bit of stutter there for some reason. Anyway, so I'll press the function button to exit the game. See, it's got some interference here and there when you're exiting, entering games, but it's not a major problem. If you look at the actual quantity of NES games, there's nearly 1,000 NES games, so there are thousands of games already pre-installed. Obviously that's a little bit of a license issue. It does come straight from China, so they obviously don't have laws, do they? Just do what you like. But yeah, there are thousands of games across this memory card, so yeah, it's basically, it would be nice to actually have a search function here rather than actually going through every single game. But yeah, if you find your game that you like, you can probably add it as a favourite by pressing the function button and go and add favourite. Then you won't have to sort of scroll through hundreds and hundreds of games to get to your favourite one. We'll maybe have a look at some the old classics here that work on the NES. There are thousands of games on this, which is crazy. You can see the screen is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, it might not be the ideal resolution or the size of screen for some of these games, and it might have a slight squashed look to it. But in general, the games still look pretty good. The screen is fantastic. And the D-pad works well, the buttons work well. You know, there's really a lot to love about this sort of little console, that's for sure. Okay guys, so obviously we can use this as, it looks like a mini Game Boy. I'm playing the classic Tetris, and it looks absolutely brilliant. That screen is super sharp, better than the original ever was. Absolutely terrific. We'll try and work our way through. I'm not going to play everything that's on here, but I'll maybe try and pick a game from each of these sort of options and play it. But you can see this is pretty impressive, the amount of games. Not cool right enough, the licensing problems, but yeah, what can you do? What can you do? You can see that screen looks fantastic. Might not be the ideal resolution size for some games. But yeah, here I'm going to sort of load in an earlier save. You can see we are off playing Metroid on the Game Boy Advance. That looks absolutely fantastic, no doubt about it. Now, if you're looking for a sort of cheap handheld, loads of ROMs, very little required effort to sort of set up, then this is a great option. £65 isn't massively cheap right enough for what you get, but it's still very competitive. You're paying probably for that absolutely fantastic screen. and it does look really well, and these games actually do play really well. I'm definitely very impressed with this. So I'm going to have a look at something that might push it a little bit further. I've played this game quite a lot of times. This is the main plus. Ninja Baseball Batman. Sometimes it does struggle to play on some devices. Let's see how it actually performs. See a little bit of stuttering in the music. Nothing too major though. Yeah, a little bit of slowdown and stuttering here and there. You see, this game does struggle on a lot of devices. And you can hear it is struggling a little bit with the actual music. But yeah, let's see how it plays. It's not bad, to be honest. The gameplay seems okay. It does look really good. It's obviously not quite playing at full speed. It does seem to be struggling slightly. But it's not bad. It ain't bad at all. Just a little bit of slowdown here and there. But it's not bad. Okay, let's have a look at maybe Mega Drive games now. We'll play some of the old classics, maybe see how it handles Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm sure it'll play fine. Plays fine in pretty much everything. Already pretty cool. Let's move in slightly. Not lost my touch. Well, pretty impressive, eh? Not the gameplay, I mean how it's running it. Yeah, ain't bad at all. Okay, we're going to sort of dodge past Master System. I'm sure it'll play absolutely fine. We'll have a look at Metal Slug perhaps. Oh. That's weird. Oh. So I kept the last game for some reason. Not sure what that was all about. Definitely I've got the sound turned down a little bit, but you can still hear it is really quite good. For such a small device, it's not got two speakers, it's only really got one speaker, but it's still very impressive. And it plays fantastic. Honestly, what's not to love about this little device? Very impressed, I really am. Obviously it's not going to play your higher end devices like the N64 or Dreamcast, but playing some of these games, arcade games, and some of your older console generation, absolutely perfect, fantastic. Pretty cool. So yeah, we can just exit that. So obviously there is the option, guys, to sort of put on another OS operating system, but I'm not really sure it's worth the issue. I will look at it right enough, but the games run fairly well. I don't really see any issues. It looks okay. You can actually press right on the D-pad to sort of have a view of the actual game cover. Not really sure the point, but if you're not sure what the game is, you can sort of get a better view of the actual game art. You can see at the top here you've got your battery indicator as well. I'm not sure what the battery life is. I would expect at least 3 to 4 hour sort of gameplay on such a sort of device and that size of battery. Neo Geo Pocket Color is probably as you'd expect. Had one of these back in the day. Absolutely brilliant it was. Let's see what one's that. Puzzle Bobble. Pretty cool. This sort of little device is probably perfect to play some of these games. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Very addictive little game too. Okay, what have we got? We've got PC Engine, tons of games here as well. Absolutely amazing. What are we going to play? Classic Outrun. PC Engine version was fantastic. Let's have a look. It's definitely one of the better versions out there of Outrun, the PC Engine. So let's have a bash at Super Mario World Yoshi Island. Sometimes that game can be a little bit troublesome to play. We have got the frame skip option if you need it, I guess, in the back end. You can sort of hear that it does seem to be stuttering slightly. Let's get started anyway. Okay, here we go, Yoshi's Island. Don't want to lose baby Mario. It seems to be doing okay, to be honest. You could obviously got that option to put the frame skip on if you think it's struggling a little bit. Yeah, probably not quite full speed, I guess, but it seems alright. Okay, you've got Wonder Swan colour. I'm not going to play that, it plays absolutely fine. What we're going to do is maybe have a look at the PlayStation games. Let's have a look at Tekken 3. Now, I'd expected probably to play these, most of them okay. Okay, interestingly, when you're playing it through the normal way, it doesn't seem to play perfect. It does have a little bit of slowdown. And obviously you can't actually see anything on the screen for some reason. Don't really know why. Kinda strange. Completely blank, even though you can hear it's definitely working. Strange. So that is a little bit odd. Let's oh, wait a minute. Not really sure what's going on there. So it doesn't seem to run perfect. There's a little bit of delay in the sound as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of delay. So maybe not the best way to run it, but let's jump out. There is another way to actually play these games, which I think is probably better rather than that way. So we come out of there, you can actually play these games through the Retroarch option here. Now this is kind of in Chinese, so it's a little bit hard to make out. But it's basically the same as what we've just been through. I think the game plays better if you choose this option up here in Retroarch. You can see it's basically just the same games, but it seems to play better through this way. See, now you can actually see the screen right away. Unfortunately, yeah, it's in Chinese. It won't really affect the game at all though. Yeah, so it seems to play a lot better that way. So that's just a little tip if you're playing your PlayStation games, to maybe do it through the Retroarch option rather than the main menu screen. See, it sounds and plays a lot better than it was there. Sound is spot on as well. Pretty cool. Okay, interestingly, I was just wondering if these buttons at the back actually work. So they are a little bit awkward to get to. None of the buttons actually work in this game. I'm not sure if they were set up in the original. Kind of thought they were, but they don't seem to work here. They are quite awkward to actually use, to be honest. The R1 and R2 and L1 and L2 buttons. I'm not really sure the point and if you will actually use them much at all. The device could probably work absolutely fine without them, so I'm not really sure what the purpose is there. You see, this is playing really, really well. I'd expect most of the PlayStation games to actually run and play pretty well. Okay, so this is going to be Resident Evil 3 playing through the same sort of emulator that I just chose. And let's have a little look at it and how it actually works. You see, sort of playing the sort of front video seems to be playing absolutely fine. Oh, getting eaten alive already. You see, it actually looks and plays really, really well. It's been a long time since I've played this game, to be honest. So cheesy. But it seems to be working and playing absolutely fine, so that is pretty impressive. Okay, this is Bloody Roar on the PlayStation again. Sorry, Bloody Roar 2, yep. It's just got some sound issues here and there with it. I guess you could probably put the frame script on. It should probably fix some of the issues, but it's playing okay. It's absolutely playing fine. Yeah, it's alright. Okay guys, I put the micro SD card into my PC. Just have a look at what it's actually got. It's got everything that you probably see on the screen. You can obviously mess about with this if you like. But I'm really just interested in adding in our own sort of games to this. There's sort of two ROMs folders here. I'm not sure why there's two. I guess this is just for the two different systems we've got. It's kind of a strange. It's like a backup folder. So I guess this is the what you normally see on the front end, and this looks like the Retroarch folder. I guess, yeah, that's what it looks like. Interesting. So yeah, there's two places to put the games, which is kind of strange. So I need to be aware of that. What I'm going to do is maybe try and add some of my own games, see if it picks up and see how they actually play, and see if it's pretty straightforward to actually do. Okay, so I've dropped a sort of ROM into the PlayStation folder. This one's just Final Doom. Just need to be wary of the different formats that are required. Hopefully different types of files should be okay, but you can see here it's .img and .pb that mainly seem to be the ones that are sort of working. Yeah, this style. Some sort of bin and queue styles may not work, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I've just dropped this into the main ROMs folder, and it picks up in the Retroarch folder and the main sort of menu screen folders that you see in the games section. I've also added some ROMs into the Famicom or NES folder as well, and see these are all actually zipped files, but it shouldn't actually matter. I've actually dropped one of each. I've dropped, let me see, Micromages, that's in the zip format as well, and I've also dropped in the game Flea, and I've just actually dropped it in as the .NES sort of style. So you may have to keep that note. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not. It might actually recognise both, but definitely keep that in mind if your game doesn't work that you drop in. Okay guys, back onto your Miyoo Mini. Once you've added your new games and you've got your micro SD card back in, show you what to do. So you need to actually scan it first. Press this button, the function button. Refresh ROMs, just press the A button, and it will basically refresh any ROMs that you added, and it should automatically add them to these folders here. We'll have a look at the sort of NES game first. Here's a quick scan of all the new games that's added, and see there's our Micromages ROM. Let's have a quick blast at that. And as you see, it plays right away, and we're good to go. Okay, let's have a look at the other one, just make sure it does actually work okay. Unfortunately, I need to scroll for it. So yeah, definitely need to take advantage of making games favourites if you want to get quickly to your favourite game. Here's Flea. This is the one that's just the .nes file. There we go. And there we go. Started right away. Obviously some of these games are not ideal for such a tiny screen when the sort of sprites are already tiny, but as you can see in here, it looks and plays fantastic. Never played this game before, highly recommend it. Absolutely brilliant. Yep, you'll die lots, but you'll love it. Okay. Let's have a look at the PlayStation game. Let's have a look, see if we can get Final Doom to actually play. Oh, it's an actual folder up the top, I think. Oh, yep. I think it's the image file that you want to play. Nope. Okay, not entirely sure why it won't actually play the file. Something I definitely need to look at. I've tried a few different options with PlayStation and it won't actually play the file I've added. So definitely something I need to look at, but from the games that have been added here, they seem to play reasonably well. Hey guys, also just having a look at the screen angles, you can see that it doesn't really matter what angle you're looking at. That OCA laminated screen is absolutely fantastic. And there's no doubt about it, the Miyoo Mini version 2 is very impressive indeed. I'm really impressed. I think it's a great little machine. Pick up and go if you're really interested. You don't really need to make a lot of effort to get it to play games. Everything is included. It's great value for money. It really is quite impressive. It's perfect to fit in your pocket and take on train journeys, bus journeys, or take to work and on your break. It's really, really impressive. I'm really loving it. I think this is one of these little machines I'm definitely going to play a lot more of. I'm very impressed. Anyway, I can't recommend this enough, guys. For the price, £65, it's not the cheapest, but for what you get, it is actually very, very good. I'll definitely be doing some more videos on this. I'll probably be looking at the Onion OS operating screen, probably have a look at adding some more different ROMs, have a look at the PlayStation ROMs, for example, see what else it can actually do and how far we can actually push it and what it's capable of doing. Anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.